Good afternoon. My name is Andrea Jimenez, and I'm going to talk about Mexico today, femicide. The reason I chose this topic is because recently in Mexico, there have been a lot of cases that have concerned the entire society. A lot of cases that have been known internationally because of the cruelty that was in them. The reason I chose this topic was to inform and mostly to show the concern of many women, and not only elder women, not only 20-year-old women, but also kids that have been tortured, raped, and also killed. First, we're going to start with some historic background. The beginning of femicide began in 1976 in Brussels when the first court of crime against women was created. The reason it was created, it was because a lot of women gathered and had a little feminist community in which included family members, the women that have been tortured, raped, or also killed. And the families went there to share their concerns, to do something about it. So they created this first court of crimes against women with the theory of that the femicide is the end of continued violence of different types. There is not an only type of femicide. There are many types. I will explain later. There are about 14 types. And they shared this concern and wanted to create a sort of help community in which they could protect themselves. Also in 1982, Diana Russell and Jane Caputi created this book, Rape in Marriage, in which all the myths that, oh, okay, this couple is married, they don't have any violence, any rape, any sort of domestic violence with their children. They actually broke that myth, in which they explained that rape exists in marriage or being alone. It doesn't matter, domestic violence exists, and it needs to be known. Not only to be a concern within the home. It needs to be known so that these women can be helped also. Okay, next, the types of femicides. The intimate is the killing of a woman by a man that could be in any type of relation, or a relative, like a husband, ex-boyfriend, an ex-husband, a recent boyfriend. The not intimate is a killing of a woman by a man that is unknown to her. The infantile is a 14-year-old or younger killing by, it could be by a relative or an unknown person that has this sort of power and trust for the kid to be, lied to and cheat by, so it is easier to be killed. The familiar is when it could be a relative. It could be the dad, the mother, the brother, the uncle, any sort. By connection is a woman killed by a man that tries to kill a couple other more women. For example, if there is sort of argument over here of a couple and I intervene, I could be killed because I tried helping her. So it's a killing by connection. The organized systemic sexual is a killing that can have torture, kidnap, and rape, which is planned. So it has this step of kidnapping the person, raping the person, torturing her, and killing afterwards. The disorganized systemic sexual is planned but doesn't have a determined time. So it could be similar to the kidnapping, but they could kidnap the person and 3 months later kill the person. By prostitution, it's the person that prostitutes herself. So many men or single men can kill her during this service type, and this also has a lot of influence in society that she got it on her own or that she was looking for it, but there is no excuse to kill someone. The white slave traffic, this is women that are lied to, making them think that they have a better opportunity going with them, and they are tortured, they are sex trafficked, they can be organ trafficking. Next, we have human trafficking, which is when they take a certain amount of people, or in this case women, and they kill them by in the time that they are migrating them to another place to use them for working slaves. The transphobic is the killing of a woman that is transgender or transsexual. Well, this is because of the hatred that there is, because this person was born a certain way but decides that that is not her identity. So someone takes advantage of that and tries to kill them, or actually does kill them. The lesbophobia is another type of femicide in which the person that kills the woman has a certain problem with the sexual identity or the sexual orientation that this person has. Racism is the hatred, the act of hatred by killing someone because of their ethnicity. And the last one is the female genital mutilation. This is any killing that when this person kills someone, they cut off a part of the person, including their genitals. Okay, so femicide in Mexico. The criminal code in Mexico, in the Article 325, states that femicide is considered to any woman that has been killed and has any of these aspects, any signs of sexual violence of any type. It could be beatings, it could be rape, as I included some of them, I believe. Any signs of mutilation before or after the person is killed, or any act of necrophilia. Necrophilia is the act of having a sexual intercourse with the corpse when the person is already dead. Any background or violence, familiar, psychological, sexual, or workplace. Any type of close relation between the victim and the active. As I was saying, the types of femicide could be by a husband, a boyfriend, a brother. Any signs of threats that have been before, and public exhibition of the victim's body, leaving it in a trash can bagged or leaving it in a public street, any type of circumstance like that. Okay, the main causes that I personally believe that are the reasons of femicide, first of all, is a macho culture. Why? Here in Mexico, because of certain aspects or certain situations that have been before. For example, our grandparents have this idea of the woman is the one that stays in home and does the dishes, cleans the house, takes care of the children, makes food, cleans again, and practically serves the man. And the man is the one that brings home the money so they can feed, they could have certain types of luxury, certain types of goods or beings. So this culture could be of our grandparents, for example, and over time many people have raised their voice that is not okay, that women can also work, women can also go and bring money to home. So I believe that is one of the main circumstances that have caused femicides, because the controversial thinkings of no, women can't do that, they're trying to show a point of view. Okay, cultural discrimination against women, capacity, study, work, etc. I think I included in the macho culture this idea of the woman that cannot study, that cannot work because they belong home. They belong to serve their husband, their father, their brother. And this has changed over time because we've had many opportunities brought to us by other feminist movements that have helped us move on. But still, there are countries where women can't study if they don't have the man's permission. And lastly, violence against women is normalized. In Mexico, I'm gonna generalize this. Violence is very normalized. Violence, we we sometimes even joke about it that we go out and they're robbing a place or robbing a store. We take it very normal. We say we read the news and we see one person is killed, and we're like, oh, okay, today is one, yesterday was three, so it's getting better. So we normalize this, and also we normalize this violence against women with jokes, with any type of social stigma of the dressing, of the way they go to work, of the way they transport themselves, the way they go out at night, the way they get out at night, etc. Okay, next, on March 9th, El Paro Nacional was mainly caused, I believe, because of the two most recent cases here in 2020. Of course, there've been a lot of cases of femicides, but these two really shook the whole entire society, in which she was exposed in a magazine cover with no face, no skin, because her boyfriend, her husband, uh, decided to peel her skin off and to take her organs out. So it really shook the entire society because it was also taken as a joke. And secondly, this 7-year-old, I'm sorry, that was robbed outside her school and kidnapped and then found raped in bags of trash. So women really got mad. They've been doing a lot of movements, and this really made us angry. So they convoked a paro nacional, in which it did affect Mexico's economy, and well, yeah. Lastly, my conclusion is that all these movements have helped, but we need to do more movements, because this was just a little testing that people still make jokes about it, because people get mad because the monuments are being drawn in, but really, who cares more about the monuments that they don't even know the names about than all the thousands of killings of women that have been happening in the world and in Mexico? Also to inform that it's really critical that we don't even know if we should go out because it can drug you. We don't want to go out because we don't want to take Uber to get back home because it's not really secure. So it's really more of a reflection that people should do as we go along with these movements. So thank you. That's it for me.